Recording in progress.
I heard it. This is Welcome Home.
Welcome home. I like that.
Such a warm word. Anyway. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. We can't hear you very well.
I don't know what's going on.
Should we lift your volume?
Sure.
Over there?
She can't do when you got up.
That one.
Okay, now. How's that?
Yeah.
Better? More?
A little more.
Thank you, John.
We have to move really
Yeah.
really woken up. How's that?
Better.
Excuse me. We're chanting and I didn't warm up my vocal cords. They may go in and out today, we don't know. I was just going to say, welcome, everyone. Where's my little sheet here?
Judy is just talking.
Nobody's listening
I'm
to me, Judy. We're starting now. We're actually late. I'm happy. I got to drink my tea. Welcome everyone. Everyone on Zoom. I don't know who's there. One person, we don't care. We'll take 1, we'll take 10, we'll take 20, we'll take 30. That's fine. And welcome newcomers. Any newcomers today? You've all been. Hello. I didn't recognize your face. So, and what's your name?
My name is Matthew.
Matthew. Welcome, Matthew. How did you hear about us?
My family.
Oh, great. Yay, friends. Nice to have you here. And what else have we got here? Our theme is remembering. That's my theme every day. Every day that's my theme. Where did I put? That kind of thing. And so the topic for April is sacred service. And lots of us can think. I've been thinking a lot about that since I'm going to be talking about it next week. So. And anyway, so now I'm going to ask our musicians to open with a song, and then we'll move into the meditation, a little quiet meditation for a little while. Thank you. It's John LaLonde. We have Jeff Hardwick. Yeah. Oh, and he gave me a lozenge. Thank you. I'll talk more about Jeff later.
Well, I'm going to say a little about Jeff right now. Jeff Hardwick is a religious science New Thought minister. He was here with the Positive Living Center until 2016, and in addition to that, he was also a musician, plays percussion, and also crystal bowls. So he's going to join me on percussion for all of the songs today. We're going to start with a little meditation, and we will go quiet and fade into the quiet time, quiet meditation.
as you take a deep breath in, and we are very present and together. We're adding a dimension of experience to our lives with each other today. And every moment is a precious moment. And I'm so glad that we're sharing these precious moments together. Thank you, John, and thank you, Jeff. And I have to say, I'm so happy to see Kathy and Jeff back here because I haven't seen them for so long. And you moved to Columbia, near Sonora. I have never been there myself, but they said
Well, you
it's
should
beautiful.
come July 12th because I play with the Sonora or with the Columbia Big Band, and on July 12th we begin doing a street dance in the evening in Columbia.
Well, that would be fun. Sounds like fun to me.
You and a couple hundred other people will be there.
How long of a journey is it from here to
I'm packing an overnight bag.
Okay.
It's about 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So you're kind of tired at the end of
there?
it.
But it's doable.
It's doable.
It's doable. That was beautiful. I always, when we get to that place where we're all so quiet, I hate to break the thing and then I touch the mic and it makes all this noise. Be quiet. Anyway, well, I'm so happy to have you here. Anyway, now we have a wonderful spiritual thought with our wonderful Jacque Stringer. We have a lot of wonderfulness here.
She's got a lot of faith in me, you can tell. I don't know if it'll be wonderful, but I'm really glad that I had a couple people come before me last week so they can lay the foundation and I could do whatever I want. So, I don't know if any of you guys are movie buffs, but I'm a very big movie buff. My dad has always been into movies, so I grew up watching them all the time. We had a whole bookcase of them. So I always find deep meaning in movies, and I always appreciate movies that teach me something. And one of those movies is, I don't know if you guys know who Christopher Nolan is. He's a wonderful director. His movie Tenet has been something I've watched 3 times, and each time I watch it, I find something new in it that I can apply to my current life. He did movies like Interstellar, Inception, and Oppenheimer. He's very outside of the box. And Tenet, just a little bit of history. It's based on a Latin palindrome. And a palindrome, it has 5 words in it, and they each have 5 letters in it. So it kind of looks like a box. And it's Seder, Arepo, Tenet, Opera, Rotas. And the palindrome means it's the same forwards, backwards, upwards, downwards, and diagonally. And there's no other words that we've known that can actually do that can be the same read anyway. And the history of it is that they believe that it was done in Roman times. It was found in Pompeii in 79 AD. And it's associated with magic and religion. There's a lot more history to it, and I just love finding those little things that make me go, oh, maybe it's a remembrance of something in a past life, or who knows, but it just interests me, so I always follow my interests. The basic meaning that I've found through my studies of this whole Seder square is that you reap what you sow. Forwards and backwards, you're planting seeds. So every letter in this square is a seed. And as you go backwards, you may be watering them. You may be giving sunshine to them. And they're gonna bloom. So we always are reaping, we're always sowing, forwards and backwards. So the symbol in my mind that I see in this is the infinity sign. And you may be going, well, what does that have to do with sacred service, Jacque? Well, I'll tell you. I will tell you. We are continually in service to our own soul's growth. And you may think, well, isn't that a little selfish to be in sacred service to yourself? And no, it's not, because that is our first job. Because whatever we do fills our cup, and whatever floweth over flows out to others. So we must fill our own cup first. But I love the movie because it kind of just shows you when you are in the now moment, you're able to change the future by changing how you look at something. And the whole movie, if you've seen it, it's kind of wild because it's actually filmed both forwards and backwards. And there's so many scenes that I had to watch several times to understand what was happening. But in it, the main thing is they're continually changing situations by, it's hard to explain, but we do it every day. We do it every day. In the now moment, if we're just present in the now moment, we can think of, oh wow, I remember when I was younger I did this, and we can forgive ourselves for something that we did. And that really changes what happened then, but it also changes us from that future on. So it's always this infinity sign. As long as we stay here and we're cognizant of something that happened here, we don't live in the past, and we don't always dream of the future. We're always living in that now moment. And it's like we're continuously reaching back with our right hand to grab our left hand, and we're always pulling ourselves forward. Sometimes we pull ourselves backwards, and I did that for many years because I was stuck in the past, and I was pulling myself, or not necessarily pulling myself, but I was not allowing myself to be in that now moment. And I had to become cognizant of how I was thinking about my life. And I began thinking forwards. And sometimes we have to think forwards in order to change and be in that now moment. So it's a continual, it's that infinity sign. That's what we live. We are infinite beings. In the movie, one of the main characters, she sees a woman and she says, oh, she embodied freedom. Something like that. That's not the right word. But she looked and she was jealous of this lady. And she said it, and she felt it, and she wanted that. It was a desire of hers. Well, as you see the movie play out, it was actually her that she was seeing in the future. And she embodied that freedom by the desire. And so a lot of times our sacred path is really our desires. Our heart's desires will always lead us down the right path for us. And for me, it changes all the time, but I always follow that something inside me is like, oh, that sounds interesting. That's cool. I really want that. And I listen to that. It's an interesting movie because it really shows you how we, in our own lives, we are our protagonist and we are our own antagonist. We are the main character. And it's just a great movie that depicts how life really is. And I enjoy it. A lot of times we set up situations that we go through that we think, this is so hard. Why do I have to be going through this? But our future self set it up for us to go through it, to learn those lessons, so we can go back and go, oh, I get it. One day you'll be like, oh, I get it. I get the lesson now. But we have to be ready to be open for that lesson to be learned. And sometimes that takes a long time. But in sacred service, I just want to remind you that it's not only to others that we are in service, because as we are in service to ourselves, we are definitely in service to others. Thank you.
I like what you said there. I wrote one down.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. I said, sacred service to our own soul's growth.
Yes.
That just resonated for me. Really, really lovely. I like that. Okay, wait a minute. Are we on there? Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I think we have some music now. Now it's John and Jeff Hartwick are going to play for us.
Well, let's welcome them.
We are going to play a Beethoven piece. This was written by Ludwig van Beethoven in 1824, over 200 years ago. In way of introduction, I'm going to be playing it on a Native American style flute. These style of flutes have been found in the Americas for 6,000 years. They've found them, they've dated them, and they've been found in the Americas for 6,000 years. They've been found around the world. Slovenia had one that was found 43,000 years ago. So 43,000 years ago, 6,000 years in the Americas, a song that's written over 200 years ago, being played in the here and now. Are we messing with time or what? All right. I should say this is the Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the fourth movement, and it's really the melody of it. You have to listen to a lot of intro to it in that fourth movement to get to this very melody, but then you can hear it with 88 instruments. All right.
I'll be on that frequency now for a little while. That felt good. That's wonderful. I feel like I kind of know some of the words, but not all of the words. I like that. Ode to Joy, right?
Yes, Ode to Joy.
Ode to Joy. All right, now we have, after that wonderful thing, we can just be carried along here in the flow. And we have our wonderful Reverend Bob Hand come up.
No, that's mine. Thank you. That was great music. Sometimes I play the kazoo. I understand that they found a 50,000-year-old skeleton of a man with a kazoo in his hand. He had been stabbed by a spear, so it's probably not a good sign. Our theme is sacred service, and of course, that's not what I'm talking about. As LJ mentioned last time, she was very nice about it. You know, I really do. I start my talks about a month ahead of time, and for 2 weeks I developed a talk on that. And it's a great theme, and John and LJ both covered it well. But I came up with things to say, but you have to do more than that. You have to feel it. And I just couldn't feel it. And so I came and told LJ, and she was really nice about it, said, you know, it's okay. I figured she'd send me into the library and have me write 100 times, I will stay on theme. She didn't. She said I could be my normal chaotic self. And that's what I'm talking about, chaos. Because that's kind of what's been in my life. I think our universe is sort of in a state of chaos right now. I mean, look at the weather. We're having floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and just locally, there was a day, I mean, I get my weather reports from my iPhone, of course, and it said sunny, and then an hour later, 75% chance of rain, and then a couple of hours later, sunny, and then later, 80% chance of rain, and then later it was to be sunny again, and then in the evening it just poured rain. I mean, that's the chaos we're dealing with, and nationally and internationally, all kinds of chaos going on. You know, groups that were friends aren't getting along, and groups that were not friends or seem to be enemies are now working together, and you may think all of that's great, or you may think it's all horrible, but it's chaotic. And in our own lives, I've had a couple of different people from the PLC come up to me and say, hey, these chaotic things are happening in my life. And I know for Jean and I, there have been a lot of chaos. Several of you know, many of you know, that several months ago, Jean and I had this whole trip planned to go up to Utah and hike through the national park. And on the first day out, we stopped at this little park north of Las Vegas, and she just slipped on some rocks like anybody, some loose rocks might do, and broke 2 bones. And for months we're dealing with medical aspects, you know, restrictions and what we can do. And we got through all of that. She's much better, doing well. And then the doctor tells me, oh, the retina in your right eye is detaching. You're going to have surgery. And so now we're back to medical issues and restrictions. And it just all seems so chaotic lately. And chaos is so prominent, there's even a theory about it. Reverend Kim mentioned that to me the other week, chaos theory. Many of you have probably heard the statement, a butterfly flaps its wings in South America and there's a hurricane off the coast of Maine. Well, that's really more a metaphor than a reality. But what chaos theory does say is things that have often been seen as chaotic really aren't. That there can be very small causes that can have very large effects. And we haven't typically seen that because the cause is often so small, and sort of the formula to get from that cause to the effect is very complicated, but it exists. But what chaos theory doesn't say is that chaos doesn't exist. There is actual chaos as well. In fact, there's another scientific theory called entropy. And entropy is an increase in chaos, an increase in disorder. So like if you have ice, you have a water molecule, H2O, and it's locked into place in a crystal. It hardly moves. It's very ordered. But if you add some heat, you have water. Water, those molecules move around more, and it's less ordered. And if you add more heat, you have steam, and then it's very disordered and very chaotic. That's entropy. And the second law of thermodynamics, when you apply it to the universe as a whole, says entropy always increases in the long term. Chaos, therefore, is always going to increase. So what does that mean for us? Let's look at chaos in spirituality and religion. In the Hindu religion, they have many gods, but two of the main ones are Brahma and Shiva. Brahma, the creator, Shiva, the destroyer. And their concept of the universe is this: creation goes on and destruction goes on. And it's an interplay between the two, much like the yin and the yang, where we have, darkness and then light and then darkness. It's creation and destruction, chaos, creation, order, and then destruction, chaos, as the way the universe is made and operates. And in the Bible, in Genesis, it says there was an abyss before God basically brought order to the world. And the word used for that abyss is chaos. That's where we get that word from. And so it's saying that before God created order, there was chaos. And this is a very ancient concept. In Greek mythology, you have order, God's providing order coming from chaos. In Norse mythology, you have that. This is a very key in spiritual understanding. I want you to keep that in mind, but I'm going to move away from that first. We're going to come back to it. First, I want to talk about humans being creative and creating things. Isaac Newton said, "If I have seen further than others, it's because I stand on the shoulder of giants." Now, with the possible exception of Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton is generally thought of as the greatest genius in mathematics and science ever. He created modern calculus, and he created the first really usable theory of gravity that we still use his formulas today. Then why, if he's such a genius like that, did he say he stands on the shoulders of giants? Because he realized he didn't start these from scratch. He didn't just walk out one day and say, "Oh, here's how gravity works," or here's something brand new, calculus. I mean, there was already math, there was already geometry, there was already algebra. There were even simpler parts of calculus that had been used by the Greeks and the Egyptians and others. And what he did was take all of that and put it together in a very unique way. And in gravity, I mean, people had been studying it for years. He took the observations from Galileo and others and took their notes and came up with a brilliant idea of gravity, but he made it from what others did. In the human way, that's how we create. We do it everywhere in art. You have Picasso, one of the originators of a very unique way of painting called Cubism. But he didn't start like that. He didn't go out and paint like that. Since he was 8 years old, Picasso was taught traditional drawing and painting. He went to 2 very prestigious art schools, and in fact, his earliest paintings are considered masterpieces of realism. Realism, the kind of painting where you paint like a person who looks very much like a real person. That's who Picasso was. And then he started being influenced by more modern painting, impressionism, symbolism, and that. And then from that created the cubism that he's known for. But that was a building process. That was taking what he had learned from others and built on. And we do that for all kinds, even some of the most important inventions, like ice cream cones. We build from others. In 1906, in the World Fair in St. Louis, there was a guy, this is true, he's a guy selling ice cream, a vendor there. And I guess it was a hot day because he was doing great. He virtually sold out of his paper cups that he sold the ice cream in. So he wasn't going to be able to sell anymore. And there was a vendor right next to him who was selling these waffle kind of cookies, soft waffle cookies. And they got to talking and said, well, we can take this waffle cookie and roll it up into a cone and put the ice cream in it, and that way you can go on selling. And 2 years later, that cookie maker started the first ice cream cone factory and made it. But they didn't start from scratch. They started from things already there. And that's how, as humans in our normal way of going about things, that's how we create. But that's not how Divine Spirit creates. Remember what I talked about in this early concepts of God creating the world. Divine Spirit creates from the abyss, the chaos, the void. Now, the void isn't empty. I mean, it has nothing in it, but that nothing means no thing. It is not ordered. But because it has no thing, it has the possibility of all things. The void is where all possibilities exist. And that's how spiritual creation goes. From the void to the creation. And you might have kind of seen how this works in a way if you've gone to a practitioner or a minister, if you've gone to the after service to the practitioner. And it's typical of us that we kind of, when we go in for a treatment, and for those of you who are new, it's called a spiritual mind treatment or a positive prayer. That's when we're seeking divine assistance to accomplish things. When you go into a practitioner, and maybe you have an illness, and kind of like with a doctor, you want to describe all of this. Oh, this hurts and I feel bad about this. Or an injury, I ache over here when I do this part of my body hurts. Or maybe it's just an issue, you've got a conflict. I said this and she said this and then I said. And the practitioner doesn't really want to hear that. The practitioner kind of wants you to say it, but they don't need the details. Why? Because we don't treat illness, and we don't treat injury, and we don't treat problems. The practitioner, in their mind, has to go into the void, go into the chaos, and you don't take that stuff there. We're not trying to make a better illness or a better injury. You have to go into the void and leave all of that there and let the void create the new spiritual aspect of you that isn't going to have these things. And that's how we create spiritually. And as a practitioner and a minister, yes, we've learned about this, we've done it many times, but all of us can do it. all of us can go into that void. When you have an issue, you can go into the chaos. You can go into the void mentally and then forget why you're there. You're not there to solve it, to cure an illness or solve a problem. You're there to create a new reality. You're there to start from the nothing, the no thing, the no order, and create a new order that's better. And it makes me think of the secret gospel of Thomas, when the disciples asked this master teacher, Jesus, where is the end? And he said, why do you seek the end? Do you know the beginning? Because the beginning and the end are the same. Blessed is he who knows the beginning, for he will know the end and will not taste death. Blessed is he who knows the beginning, for he will know the end and will not taste death. What is he saying to us? He's saying, don't worry about endings. Don't worry when things are falling apart, when things aren't going well, when things are chaotic. Because don't think that chaos is the end of something good. Chaos is the beginning of something better. And when all of us learn to go to that void, to go to that chaos, and let go and recreate a new, better life, then we all will have a better life for ourselves and for the world.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow, I was feeling it.
Because he was feeling
it. That was great. And it was very clear. It was very clear about that void and chaos, because I kind of live in chaos a lot, and I like it. But sometimes I don't. But sometimes I like it and things change. I love that. That was wonderful. Thanks, Bob. Thank you for clearing that up. Now, moving right along. Where are we now? I have to say, I would like to ask somebody, 2 people possibly, that would like to come up and help do the offertory. Or we have a clone box in the back. I can go and clone myself. Why, thank you, Karen. Oh, and I think Alan's coming up too. Thanks, that's great. All right. Well, first we'll do the little prayer, the offertory prayer. Thank you very much. Offertory prayer, divine love.
flowing through me, blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive.
Yay! That myth was really good, Jeff. I think it worked. I think it worked.
Good morning.
I have a lot to contemplate. But all the things that everyone said today, Jackie and Bob, and the beautiful music, I just feel like really it's a nice place to be. I took notes, by the way. That's writing furiously back here. It's really worth it. Okay. Oh, and I guess I don't have to remind anyone because I don't know who it is. Who's on Zoom? Do you know the person?
Who?
Oh, I was just going to say, I would say all this stuff, but I think that, you know. Okay. How long did you want to stand there? Okay. We have the frog box. Let me see. Let me go back. I think I missed something here. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, I want to remind people about the frog box in the corner. Or contact the minister or practitioner for prayer after service. Today is Jackie. She'll be in the back if anyone wants a prayer with her. We're talking about spiritual mind treatment. She will be in the meditation room. And if you're in a hurry or you would just like to put your request into the frog box, that's also wonderful. Okay, because that goes online, and Reverend Joe puts that online, and we all pray for it.
Well, not online.
Not online, but in our
He
email.
sends it out to all the
He
practitioners.
sends it, yeah, sorry, he doesn't, yeah, that's right, you're not exposed
Not
to
going
all
online.
of you all. Wait, phew, I better say that differently, thank you. Yes, no, we will pray for it in a little group here. And it's kept private. And then, what else do we have? Announcement, I'll just start the announcement by saying May 3rd, the annual meeting is right after the service, May the 3rd. And you know what, things are moving quick.
Yes. Is it fourth?
Well, I have 3rd here, is it the 4th? I don't know, I haven't got my calendar.
It's on Sunday.
It's on a Sunday, the very first Sunday, so I may. Okay, so,
The 4th.
right, so now I'm having announcements.
Ah.
Whoever wants to
have one.
and have an announcement, yeah, come on up.
ACM, Course in Miracles, is a self-study that we come together once a month to discuss what we enjoyed reading over the last month. It is kind of like, I liken it to the Bible, where you can't really read a chapter and say, what did you learn in that chapter? Because it's so dense, the material is so good. You can come in and discuss, we'll all discuss whatever you want, and I'll have something, and hopefully you'll have something. It's the 3rd Sunday after the circle healing, and it's right after service, and anybody's welcome. You don't have to come every month. You can come every month. Everybody's welcome. Thank you. And it's next Sunday.
It is next Sunday. Anyone else have an announcement? Okay, Sandy in the back there. Do you want to come up so everyone can hear you?
No, just real quick.
Okay, then make it loud.
The new gallery I mentioned, which is on 41 across from the fruit stand, it's open today from 12 to 7. I will be there from 12 to 4. If anybody wants to stop by, I'll give you a personal tour.
What is the name of that?
The YSA Gallery.
YSA?
Sierra Artist Gallery.
Great. Okay, YSA Gallery.
Across from the fruit stand.
On 41 across from the fruit stand. Okay, I think everyone heard that. Any other announcements?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a reminder that we have the class starting after service today. It'll be 11:30 to 1:30. It's remembering the theme of the year, remembering our sacred agreements, and we have registration forms. And so even though we're starting the class at 11:30, if you'd like to take care of registration ahead of time, don't hesitate. We'll be having class right here. We do have someone who is signing up that's on Zoom. So just wanting to welcome everyone.
Anyone else have any announcements? I didn't get, oh, no, Bob, excuse me.
I almost forgot, LJ.
Still much
I was going to do that about Emerson.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is chaotic, but I'm going to try it. So we've talked before about there is a school, a graduate school, if you will, called Emerson Theological Institute. And that was originally formed by Angelo Pizzello and his wife Stella. And it was formed here at the PLC. And so for, 25 years or something, the PLC was the center of it. And it has religious centers like the PLC all over the United States who are part of it, and actually some in foreign countries that are also part of it. It's, if you get a practitioner certificate here or a minister certificate, you're getting it through Emerson. We're considered a teaching center here. Emerson is now under a new church that Angie and I started called Emerson New Thought Center. But this is still really its home. And I mentioned it because you not only, if you may not want to be a practitioner or a minister, but if you want a degree, if you want a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a doctorate degree in things like religious studies or divinity studies, that kind of thing, then you can also get that through Emerson. We're in the process now. Angie is retired. We have a new president, Ruth Miller, and she's coming here periodically because the offices are still where the old PLC Emerson offices are. And so I'm working with her, kind of developing things more. But if any of you want classes and you take classes for credit, like LJ's class, those all go through Emerson, and if anybody's interested in getting those degrees, they're not educational degrees as you would get at Fresno State or something, but they are theological degrees from a certified theological institute. So I can tell anybody more if you have questions about it, and we'll be developing more and getting more information back to you. Thank you.
That's great. Sorry, I'm still working with my throat here. Now let's see, what else do we have? I have prayer partner this week as John, but I think it's Jackie. That's right. Okay. And next week's speaker looks very much like me. Been cloned. Will be here. Reverend Kim Haley will be the speaker next week. Let us do the prayer of protection right now. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And now I'm going to ask John to come up and Jeff, to play some more wonderful music that we won't want to leave. We'll want to just stay here, have concert.
Actually, I think of the final song that the musician does as kind of getting the heart rate going so you can stand up and walk out. Not before the final prayer, but just kind of get ready to leave. So. All right.
nice way to go.
Yes.
Go into our whole week ahead.
Uplifting.
And I would like to ask somebody to come up and pray us out. Would you like to come up and pray us out? Okay. LJ, Reverend LJ.
It is so good. So good to acknowledge the power and the presence and the life. It shows up as each of us, and boy, did it show up today. I am immensely grateful for all that is, all that has ever been, and all that will ever be. It is done, and so it is.
Go out and enjoy spring. It's beautiful. It's beautiful out there.